In the tunnel.
In the tunnel.
In the tunnel. You're listening to In the Tunnel.
Hello and welcome to In the Tunnel, episode number 41.
Yep, 41.
And today, for one of the few times ever, I think, we're before both series are starting. So,
We are. I mean, I've been trying to say for a while now that we should just pretend, or just pretend that we're making things up, and we'll get to the part where we uncover it later. But this is the hand that we've been dealt, I guess. Is
yeah.
just not capitalize on that opportunity.
Right, so let's just start with the NBA playoffs.
Sure.
We got the finals match as the Warriors and Raptors. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I guess I'm in the majority of people who thought that the Bucks are going to win. By the way, you need to take the mic away from your face a little bit because I can hear every breath coming out of your nose.
Okay, I can do that.
Just trying to help for the audio sake a little later.
Yeah.
I thought that the Bucks, when they had the 2-0 series lead, it was pretty much in the bag. And then Toronto came back and won 4 straight games, which, I mean, the last 2 games, the Bucks had double-digit leads midway through the third quarter.
Yep.
And for them to not have won either of those last 2 games is weird, because you never heard anyone say that the Bucks bench was weak, but at the same time, they only played so many people. But at the same time, the Raptors, I looked at the box score of last night's game. The Raptors only played about a 7-8 man rotation. They had 4 or 5 players who didn't play, including Jeremy Lin. So you mean to tell me that when Kyle Lowry is tired, you couldn't put Jeremy Lin in as a decent backup point guard option? I think they could have gone deeper than what they did. They relied on their starters way more than I think that they needed to. And so for that reason, it's going to be tough for me to pick against the Warriors. I think that the Warriors use their bench. They've now pretty much had for the past 2 or 3 years with their same bench, utilize them in the playoffs. They know what they're getting out of their bench. You see that the Raptors, they finally got over the hump, finally made it to the finals, but they don't really trust their bench.
I mean, was it that they don't trust their bench, or that they... I mean, because I don't say that they don't trust their bench. Were they really, forced to use their bench, to the fullest extent?
Well, I mean, forced to use your bench is kind of...
I mean, you have, 13 players on that roster or something like that in the playoff?
Yeah. 12,
so,
13.
Most times you'll probably use, 9 or 10.
Yeah.
They used 8. That's, one under the norm, in my opinion.
Well, let me look back to this, but why don't you give us your opinion in the interim as to what comes next?
I mean, I do think the Warriors are going to win. I don't want them to win. It's been, the same 2 teams over and over for so long.
Right, this is kind of the NBA telling us, here, you got something a little different, but it was like, well, yeah, LeBron kind of took the year off, so...
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know.
You can't really say that it was different.
I do agree with you. I just think that the team-wise, the Warriors are more well-rounded if you include the bench.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go as far to say as the Raptors don't trust their bench.
Let's see. ESPN with it, their hard hitting, play the sounds anyway kind of stuff. So they played an 8-man rotation with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players with veteran experience for the most part, not playing at all. They had Jeremy Lin, Patrick McCaw, who was on the Warriors for a couple of those winning seasons, and Cody all not playing. And then on top of that, I have no idea who Malcolm Miller is.
Okay.
Just going through who's not playing.
Alright, but that was how many players not playing?
5.
5, right? So they have a 13-player roster.
Mm-hmm. And Eric Moreland, he's been in the league, I think, a few years, but he's never really,
Because I mean, going
done
into a
much.
basketball game, if there's a 13-player roster, right, I expect 3 of those players not to play minimum.
Okay, but 5 I still think is a stretch given who some of those 3 guys were who didn't play.
All right, fair enough. But
I mean, some of them have been starters on other teams in the past. So
oh yeah, definitely.
I think especially when you bring in guys after the trade deadline through when they get bought out from other teams or waived from other teams for reasons that you don't really understand, you bring them in to bolster your lineup for the playoffs and then they not use them for the playoffs. It just leaves me a little confused. But
Fair enough.
I mean, I'm
But-
here.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, did they need to use them? Not really. They still won.
Right. I mean, they were also in some scenarios that they probably could have avoided, but
True. Yeah, but that's all I got to say about this series. What about you?
yeah. I mean,
All right.
what's your prediction?
I mean, I think Warriors have it probably in 6.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing.
All
I mean,
right.
I just can't trust that Toronto can push it to a game 7.
Yeah, I'm on that boat. What about our hockey series, the Stanley Cup Finals, St. Louis Blues and the Boston Bruins?
Well, we got what everybody in the world wanted, St. Louis in it, despite the fact that, guys on Facebook were selling stuff saying Stanley Cup champs for the San Jose, as we covered in our last episode.
Yeah.
So just another reminder, don't get your gear, or basically don't make your popcorn too, far before the movie starts.
True.
Um,
All right, so what do you think of the series, though?
I mean, I was telling you this before the show, Boston's just playing at an increasingly confident and dominant level.
All right.
And it's just, I don't see St. Louis winning it. I'd love to see that, but
You're not going to go St. Louis 4-0 just for the memes?
no.
Oh, come on, man.
Although I did discover that trend.
Yes, you did. Which is why aren't you sticking to your trend?
Because that trend didn't play out in the West.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the East, though.
Yeah, but St. Louis would have to sweep Boston, and St. Louis is in the West.
Yeah.
And that trend didn't happen in the West.
Oh, come on. I'm totally looking forward to that St. Louis 4-0
Fine.
sweep of Boston.
All right, here's what I'll say. The Boston will maybe lose straight games, but it won't be a sweep.
A gentleman's sweep?
You wanted me to, give you that, 4 straight losses thing. I'm giving it to you in some variety.
Okay.
It could be games 4 through 7. It could be a number of different things.
True. I mean, for the way that St. Louis has been playing and the way Boston has been playing, I do think you have to look at Boston as a favorite, but I really don't think it's by a lot.
I mean, to me, and I mean, everybody will say the thing about how it's been 49 or 50 years since the Blues were in the finals and they played the Bruins that year, and they'll say like, well, all the time or all the times that the Blues in recent or not really recent memory, but in memory have made the finals was against Boston. I still can't envision a finals or a playoff series that has these two teams on the ice together. It just doesn't look normal.
I mean, it's happening, so
I mean, it's kind of like it is, but it's kind of like how last year we didn't see Vegas on the final stage being, something to expect.
true.
You can't really prepare for these kinds of moments.
All right. So, what do you have the series at?
In 6,
6?
Bruins.
All right.
In 6, but they'll lose games 5 through 9.
Good luck with that one. Uh, I
Take a swing at it.
I mean, as much as I want to take St. Louis, I'll take Bruins in 7.
You know what? For me, if St. Louis makes it to Game 7, there should be a participation trophy for them.
All right. Well,
Because after 49 years, participation trophy. It's not like what kids getting a participation trophy in rec sports because they get one every season. After 49 years, you can get a participation trophy or like a bronze cup, not a Stanley
isn't that
Cup.
what the Western Conference Finals trophy's for?
I don't know.
I get to participate in the Stanley Cup.
Well, I mean, they have an Eastern Conference one too, but
Yeah.
they give that out every year too. It's like, again, it's the 50-year thing.
Okay. All
You're
right.
making
Anyway,
all of St. Louis feel bad now.
so do you wanna see what the wheel thinks about these series?
Yeah, you want to play this out game by game?
I mean, we can. That's fine
Oh,
with me.
we forgot to do the wheel for the NBAs.
No, I got both of them.
Okay, we switched to hockey first. I wasn't sure how we were doing it.
Now we have the NBA series first. So the yellow is Golden State and the red is the Raptors. So let's go
It's
game by game.
mustard and ketchup.
Okay.
Get it right. Let's
we're
go.
going. So this is game 1. Whoever takes the lead at the beginning. And
Yeah.
I'm not surprised, but it's Golden State.
Well, that's disappointing.
You think Toronto comes back for game 2?
I mean, I would hope so. Toronto's got game 1 and 2 at home.
All right, well, they come back for game 2. So then it goes to Golden State. You're saying that Golden State wins that game at home?
Golden State probably wins both games at home. Knowing
Well,
how this playoff season has gone.
the wheel says Toronto wins games 2 and 3 so far, so they're 2-1 on the series right now.
That's interesting.
And what do they say for game 4? Oh, it's a close one.
It's probably Toronto again.
No, it's Golden State, so it's 2-2 after 4.
We're going to take this wheel into an alley and beat it over the head with a stick.
Anyway, game 5. Does the NBA Finals do 2-2-1-1-1 or 2-3-2?
I think it's 2-2-1-1-1.
Last time I thought it was 2-3-2. But anyway, Toronto wins game 5. So do you think they
I
take
could
game
be
6?
wrong, but the wheel has disagreed with me, so I'm going to say...
Well, Toronto takes game 6 and they win the series 4-2, according to the wheel.
Comical, if you ask me, but...
Yeah, pretty comical.
Stranger things have happened with the wheel.
Yup. So now we get to see the Stanley Cup Finals. So we have blue for St. Louis and yellow for Boston. So
Indeed, you're right.
who's home first? Do you know?
Boston, I think.
All right. Well, what do you have for their games?
I know that the Metro won the All-Star game.
Right.
Does the All-Star game still determine it?
I don't think so, but I think Boston has the better record, and I thought that determined
Let's see, stats department or stats research, I should say.
it.
Stanley Cup Finals, and of course, show me all the games that already happened. Game 1, Boston. Game 2 is in Boston as well.
Okay, so they have home field. Anyway,
Yes,
so
home field.
do they take home ice?
Yes.
Anyway, do they take game 1 at home?
I think St. Louis takes game 1. Shock the world.
Well, the wheel agrees with you.
Oh, thank God. I was really worried about that.
So anyway, game 2. What do you think? They bounce back?
I think the wheel's about to ruin my Memorial Day week. What am I going to do if I don't clean my apartment and get groceries now?
Well, Boston wins game 2.
Yeah,
So
that's
now
about right.
into St. Louis for game 3. And, well, Boston wins game 3 according to this one.
I predicted Boston because remember I'm on the tape delay. I said Boston right before.
Anyway, game 4 still in St. Louis. You think St. Louis can take one at home?
Oh, I pray to that Gloria person they keep talking about that they do.
And St. Louis takes game 4 at home, so we go to Boston for game 5.
At least this is even this is a better series just on trend than the NBA one. And hockey prevails again. Remember,
Louis,
kids, dribbling a ball is easy. Stick handling a puck, not.
So St. Louis takes game 5, so they're up 3-2.
Ooh.
Do they take it at home for game 6? Do they win?
Oh, they'll take it, all right. No, it's probably going to be Boston.
No. St. Louis takes game 6 at home to beat Boston, according to the wheel.
From worst to first to piping, cigars and drinking champagne, parading under an arch, which I don't exactly know that, but
all right, man. So anyway, you have.
I mean, if walking under a ladder is bad luck, how come walking under the arch in St. Louis isn't like all the bad luck? And yet the St. Louis Cardinals just make the playoffs every damn year.
All right. Anyway, moving on. What do we got next? We have Facebook Marketplace.
Dude, this is like maybe going to be our shortest episode ever.
Damn.
I mean, how much time are we at right now?
About 18 and a half.
Okay, we're like halfway through?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we're fine then. All right. Facebook Marketplace times. So we have basically a bunch of. St. Louis isn't really it. We've had other towns that it took a long time to get through stuff. Like Atlanta was hard to find stuff, but they don't really have a lot of sports towns or not towns, teams anymore. This is nothing against St. Louis. It did not take long to find 7 or 8 things, which is normally the range that we do.
Yeah.
For you guys and your neighboring communities. It took like 15 minutes, which not a lot of scrolling there. We found a lot that we were sending each other and going, wait, what? So let's just get into it. How would you like a garage door height inflatable Milwaukee's Best Light beer can? Because nothing says I'm the role model parent in your suburban neighborhood like a gigantic beer can inflatable. And $80. Got it on a price reduction. And I will say this, I see on the can that it's owned by Miller, but the fact that it's Milwaukee's Best, probably right then and there should go for. Actually, no, Miller is in Wisconsin too. So this should not be $80 in a Budweiser in Anheuser-Busch neighborhood, the country. This thing should be going for like 30 max. And I mean, it would probably look better on someone's driveway with a gigantic hole in it because it's worth nothing. I mean, whoever got this definitely did not pay for it, and they think that the market is high for sellers.
I mean, they tried to sell it at $89.
Yeah, but they only listed it a week ago, so
Yeah.
don't feel too bad. Let's see, what's next? What's next?
We got-
Okay, so you got your off-brand Blues hockey hoodie, and I mean, I don't remember the branding here, but you recognized it instantly, so why don't you take this one?
It totally looked like those mountains from Coors. When I
Yeah.
looked at it, I was like, did somebody just take like the mountains from the Coors logo and slap Blues hockey on it?
And look, I'll say this. Not a bad looking off brand hoodie. Of all the things we've seen in our time doing this segment, not bad. But at the same time, for it to be listed a week ago, they thought that they were going to make money off the fact that the Blues were in the conference finals, and they didn't realize that if they waited a little bit longer, because knowing this is off-brand and knowing that this probably wasn't going to sell in conference final, or if they had lost a round, if they had waited longer and came up with a better design that more fit the fact that they were in the finals, if these people, I mean, if they're doing their own screen printing, that is.
You're also expecting Facebook Marketplace sellers to be, have some common sense and forward-thinking.
True. I mean, $27 for a hoodie is cheap, but the fact of the matter is, this still isn't a logo. It's just Times New Roman of a landscape.
Yep.
And that in itself is, I'm going to tell you guys that it's worth $15 tops.
I might not even give that.
That's what, I mean, I'm saying tops.
Yeah.
Like Stanley, if they're in the Stanley Cup champs, I'll give it $15.
Okay.
Just because I'm not buying licensed stuff.
Fair enough.
And then this one, wear red, bleed blue. Okay, I'm not really sure what that's in reference. Oh, it's a crossover hockey and baseball shirt, which is fine, but I guess as a potential consumer, I'd want you to show me the product in an actual picture and not a preview from an electronic software, and then give it to me that way. So, I mean, a lot can go wrong in the actual production, and while I can appreciate what you're trying to do, I mean, I still don't know if what I'm getting is new or used, if it's right or wrong. If
is it even real?
Exactly, for $18, it better be, but
It looks like
we
it was
don't know.
electronic screen printed anyway.
Well, it's
picture.
not a real shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Not a real shirt.
All right. What do we got next, huh?
Next slide. You want to take this one?
All right. So.
Let's get you involved a little more.
I mean, I have been making my comments, but anyway, so the first thing on this slide is the Hey Buddy Western Conference Champs shirt.
A very Canadian way of entering the Cup Finals, if you ask me.
Hey, we're here. Oh, good for you.
Hey, buddy, we're here.
You don't think you could come up with something better?
Or you don't think they could come up with something that says, like, we're here to win? Like,
exactly.
This is basically spend $20 to say, hey, we made it to this round. Nothing to the saying that we're gonna win this thing. Just we're here.
Yeah, like, oh, we're here. You couldn't come up with anything better.
Although I will say, make one point to defend this shirt. You can wear it literally anywhere, and it'll make a point about we're here. just based on location base.
But you really
But then
want to
it's-
wear that shirt everywhere?
I'm not saying that you wear it everywhere. I'm saying it has the potential to go everywhere. But as soon as people see your shirt and then they see the third line, they're going to be like, "Oh, never mind," and then they won't ask you about it.
Yep.
Which is right in the sweet spot that you want to be in, is the shirt wearer, but don't be asked about the shirt.
Yep. Alright, so smack in the middle, probably drawing everybody's attention if you're watching this on YouTube or Twitch.
Hard hat for a hard hitter. This is, remember, Big Mac Land, which is the outfield seats where the Cardinals play. If you need a hard hat to sit in the outfield seats, you probably shouldn't be sitting in the outfield seats, because the ball probably isn't coming at you that hard. So yeah, $10 for Big Mac Land hard hat. That's a hard pass for me, but
I don't know. I mean,
it's
like
just
a
not
kid's
practical.
gimmick. It's like a kid's gimmicky thing, so I don't know. You'll probably find somebody who'll pay $10 for it.
It is, but it's not practical.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't have to be practical.
Well, I know you say it's for kids, but if you look at it, this thing is clearly dated.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm not saying it's not for kids. I'm not saying that they won't find a seller. I'm saying they could probably find at least a more recent version of this.
Okay. And the last thing on the slide.
Yeah, the Cherry Coke transforming robot, or as they call it, the Transform, which hopefully is just a typo. Otherwise, we need to make sure that this does not make the air. So, yeah, $65 for a robot that holds a soda can, from what I'm seeing.
I mean, it is a
Why?
soda can.
No, I mean, if you look, I'm looking at the top of it. Is Oh no, that's
the head.
robot head. Never mind. I thought it was a soda can. My apologies. It looks like a soda can to me.
No, it definitely transforms into the Cherry Coke
So
soda.
okay, so that depreciates the value even more. Saying robot that doesn't even hold the soda. It's just branded for the soda.
Hey, you want that for $75? They just reduced the price to $65 though.
I mean, well, but the
And
thing
that
is,
box
I
is
know
terrible.
it's also a collectible more than anything else, but for function, what does this bring to the table other than you're weird when, like, say this thing is supposed to sit in the refrigerator because it does hold it. It's supposed to keep the soda cold, like so it needs to cool in the refrigerator. Then you can take it out. The fact of the matter is, someone opens up your fridge and they see a robot in the front. I would leave the house. I
mean,
would.
To be fair, this box looks in terrible shape too. Like,
I mean, it is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't trust it based on the box being that bad. Are we sure we're not just buying the box?
For $65.
Hey,
Just
you
buying
never
the
know what
box.
the seller will do.
Never know. And then finally, look, I'm not a WWE. Fact of the matter, I'm guessing that the merchandising is still not strong enough to command $375 for an oversized.
For a belt or a tag?
Well, I mean, it's a championship belt.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing for $375
I mean, it does say
tag, I
champion on
would
it.
say that. Right, but it also has 2 WWE logos on each.
Yep.
Or actually, it's got 5 WWE logos, which is 5 too many for, me putting money into something.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
I don't know. And I don't know how you can really confirm authenticity.
I don't think that you really can, especially because this note on it just says 5/17/19 and Patrick S on it.
Yeah.
That doesn't really show me that's a certificate of authenticity.
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it just
So.
tells me, hey, this thing's been on the market.
Well, I mean, it says only a day, and we looked at these today, so.
Well, someone just wanted to sell it for.
Yeah.
They just got around to posting it.
All right.
I guess.
I guess so. Also. Anyway, moving on to useless stats.
Right, yeah, we got some good ones today. We're minor league.
Yeah. So minor league
Let's
stats
see.
today. So you want to kick it off?
Why don't you kick it off?
All right. Let me go pull them up.
Okay, well, if you're gonna pull them up, I'll kick. So let's see. We're gonna go minor league and defunct. So the
Okay.
ABA. Louis Dampier had 13,726 career points in the ABA. He did not ever play in the NBA, from what we found, and of the likes of Julius Irving, Dan Issel, and Artis Gilmore played Hall of Fame careers in the NBA. None of them were, touching Louis Dampier's career total for ABA all-time leading scorer.
Damn.
He was also the leader for career in his total assists with 4,044. He made 794 threes, which was the most there. Games played, he had 728, also most. Most minutes at 27,770. And let's see, that's all he led for career categories.
ABA
So
statistics.
he only led 5 categories in ABA statistics.
Well, that league is kind of gone. So
Oh, good times, good times.
right. So the next one is the NBA D/G League.
Yeah, so it used to be the D League. Now it's
Wait, they just changed it recently?
like 2 years ago.
Oh boy. All right. So
Well, because Gatorade sponsors it now, so that's why it's the G League.
okay.
It used to stand for development. Now it stands for Gatorade or guinea pig testing, I guess. Ay, it's
All right. So anyway, so the leader in scoring all time for the new G League is
no. It's D League and G League. It's still the same association.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm just saying the newly named.
Oh, okay, the newly named. I thought you were saying like only in the past 2
No,
years.
no. It what's his name? Ronaldo.
Ronaldo. I guess we're gonna call it Ronaldo Major.
Okay, he has 5,058 points with over, or no, 400 games on the dot right now in the
Yeah.
G/D League.
Yeah, well, I mean, he doesn't play anymore. It looks like he last played in 2017 for the Reno Bighorns.
Oh, okay.
And his G League D League average for points per game was 12.6. Keep in mind that Vander Blue, the number 2 guy, who had a few hundred points less, he averaged 21.2 points per game in 225 games played. So significantly less.
So this guy just played a lot.
Yeah. I mean, he was a career G leaguer.
Okay.
A true baller of sorts.
All right.
Let's see, what else do we have? All right. So the 1991 Toronto Blue Jays were the first team in baseball history to draw a 4 million attendance for a whole season. They had 4,002,527 fans show up in games. And since then, there have been only a few more teams that have joined that club. The 92 Blue Jays, the 90 Rockies, the 93 Blue Jays, which was the last time that I guess that their stadium was filled, because after that,
it just went downhill from there.
Well, that, and you have to wait for the Yankees to beat The next one in 2005, 6, 7, and and 8, and also the Mets in 2008 had over 4 million, which
Yep.
is just sad to think about because, okay, first of all, can we disqualify the 2008 Mets and Yankees
Why?
because they both said goodbye to their old stadiums that
Oh
year
yeah,
that
fair
were
enough.
around for forever? Yeah, so
But I don't know how. Like, I mean, the Mets. If you don't include the last
yeah, but
game,
for tourism, it boosts the sale.
true. But I mean, I don't. I think the Yankees could have got it without that.
I mean, yeah, they did, but the Yankees, let's see, in 2005 had 4,090,000. In 2006, they had 4,248,000. 2007, 4,271,000. But in 2008, they had 4,298,655. So their most for a
Yeah,
season came in that last year.
true.
I mean, they could have gotten it regardless based off of the stats that we just
Yeah,
listed off, but
exactly.
they didn't.
Yeah.
And never again. No, I'm kidding. All right. Next up we got hockey.
All right. So the AHL. Yeah. So they have. Let's just look at the penalty minutes for a second, right? So the AHL's all-time leader in penalty minutes has 4,493 penalty minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this guy's played past tense in the AHL for 15 years, and the guy under him also had a 15-year AHL career and only has 2,940 penalty minutes.
Yeah.
The guy who has the record is Dennis Bonvie.
Bonvoy, whatever it is.
Yeah,
Played 15 years, basically played 90 some games at the NHL level, which is,
a lot more than I thought.
I mean, he never played more than 28 games at the NHL single season.
Yeah, but hey,
So,
if you're playing 15 years in the AHL, that's a lot more games than the NHL than I thought you'd have. Especially
yeah,
that condensed. Like, there was like 3 seasons in a row where he had like 20 some games, right? Or 15, 20, and 20. So, I think.
something like that. Career highs, I guess. And then Rob Murray was number 2 with 2940.
Yep.
All right.
Next
And
AHL
then
stat.
for all time games played, it's Willie Marshall, who is, fun fact, of course, a part of the AHL Hall of Fame, which apparently there is one. So
Oh, there has to be.
wherever it is, check it out if you decide that you just have way too much free time. So the leader in all-time games with 1,205 games at the top minor league level in America, that is.
Yep. And so this guy had a 20-year career in the AHL.
Yeah, in the minors.
Yep.
And yet he did play in the NHL. We have pictures. He's the dude in the Maple Leafs jersey. If you're watching right now.
Yeah. And do you want to take our last stat from the XFL from your favorite player, Jeremy?
Oh yeah, my favorite player, and I use that. I use that in the most sarcastic way of all time because I hate Tommy Maddox. He was so bad.
I,
Okay, so he is the all-time leader in passing categories for the XFL in the one season currently that it existed with 196 completions, 2,186 yards, 18 touchdowns, and he was the lone XFL MVP and
so
champion.
so you got the best player in the XFL to walk the earth so far in Tommy
Yeah.
Maddox.
Yeah, thank God he didn't play past 2000. That dude sucked.
Hey, you did with what you had, right? So anyway, on to our final segment, right?
Yeah.
Forgotten Stars. So for the first one, we have Isaac Bruce, and I just want to kick this one off with saying when we were doing the graphics for this part, I looked at Jeremy and I was like, that don't look like Isaac Bruce.
Yeah, Sean apparently didn't remember that Isaac played for the Rams for 13 years. And he was like, are you sure he played for the Rams? Like, Sean, I don't remember him playing for anybody but the Rams.
Yeah, but he
And
played
I
for the
wasn't
49ers, right?
Yeah, for like 2 seasons. But I wasn't reminded of who Isaac Bruce was until I was scrolling through Twitter like last week, and he posted a video on his Twitter that was catching some views because it was about the St. Louis Blues. He was just
Okay.
standing. He was standing in a fitness gym, doing selfie video about the Blues and winning Game 6 or Game 5 or something like that. And that was all the inspiration I needed to be like, oh yeah, that
this
dude.
guy existed.
I mean, the other forgotten star in this story in its own right is the fact that the Rams played in St. Louis at one point, and that people who were Rams alumni still root for the St. Louis teams.
Yeah, I mean, I still remember Rams in St. Louis at this point.
Back
It
in the
still
day,
feels
Sam
weird
Bradford.
for them not being there.
Can Sam Bradford be on our next list of forgotten stars, despite the fact that he's still playing?
He's still playing. What the heck? No.
I mean, he was never, although he was never really a star.
So you want to go through this guy's resume of why he's a star?
Yeah, I mean, a 4-time Pro Bowler. He's a member of the 1,000 Catch Club.
Okay.
He has over 15,000 yards receiving, and I believe 14.9 yards per reception.
Yeah.
91 career touchdowns. He was a second-round pick from the University of Memphis, as we found out, because his SAT scores were too low to get into Purdue. So who knows? Maybe, I mean, actually, it was probably going to be years away from Drew Brees at Purdue, but that would have been imagine if that actually happened.
Yeah.
It's Fantasyland stuff for sure. And he was on The Greatest Show on teams with Torrey Holt and Kurt Warner. Torrey Holt we also could put on this list, but the fact of the matter is you probably remember Torrey Holt before Isaac Bruce.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
All right. Well, you were forgotten, but you're still a star.
Gone but not forgotten.
Yeah.
Or forgotten but not gone, I guess is the way.
Yeah. It doesn't really work though. Anyway.
I mean, it works in the fact that gone but not dead people. So.
Okay. And next person.
All right, let's move on from that.
Yeah, we have
a little Debbie Downer shit.
Josh Howard. This guy played in the NBA for 9 seasons.
Yes, Josh Howard, otherwise known as he made All-Star team
in like 2007, and then like 5 years later, he was gone.
Yeah. I think Josh Howard. I'm not sure because we did not read the. Sure that you know that outside of the stats, we do not really read the Wikipedia pages. We're basically just basing this segment off of the top of our heads. But the fact that I think he was one of those guys who had a weed problem.
Oh, okay. I mean, when we were looking at his stats though, we saw like, oh, he played to 2016. Wait, we don't remember that crap, right?
Yeah, he was in the G League. He
Back then, it was definitely the D League.
Yeah, he played his last 2 seasons in the D League. But I think it was like 2014.
Oh yeah, 2014. Yeah, he played like
because now he's coaching at a college in Winston-Salem, which is not in the NCAA.
It's in the NCCAA.
Because it's the NCAA for Christian schools.
So is it the NCCAA?
Yep.
Or is it the NCCAA?
Oh boy. We need a poll for that one.
Oh yeah, I don't know how we're gonna solve that.
Get all the Christian colleges to vote because nobody else will.
Anyway, yeah, so he was a first-round pick. He got out of that league, the NBA, pretty quickly for
Yeah, a 9-year career in the NBA, 9 years.
But his stats weren't terrible. I mean, they're
no, of course not.
Not like first, superstar stats, but
for a small forward, if that was his true position, it was either shooting guard or small forward. He put up right around slightly above average for that position.
Yep. All right. We got anybody else? Yes.
Yes.
All right. Last one
The
is
big one.
Chris Osgood.
Mm-hmm. Mr. 3-time All-Star Mr. I never upgraded my mask despite the fact that he was playing in the late 2000s. He clearly, when he played in the late 2000s, had the mask that said, "I've been here so long." And then he just disappeared one year.
Yeah, I mean he won the Stanley Cup 3 times.
Yeah, but I remember in 2000 and after the 2009 one, Penguins for the second year. After that, I was thinking like, okay, Chris Osgood is just like a throwback, but he might have, because I didn't know hockey very well at the time. I was thinking like he may still have years left, in his career. And then it was just Jimmy Howard.
Yep,
That
it
was
just kind of
it.
like
Then
faded.
it turned to the Jimmy Howard era, and Chris Osgood was never heard.
Yeah,
He's
but
not
I mean,
not like Brodeur. He didn't get his Enterprise commercial,
right?
anything like that.
Yeah, but I mean,
Three-time Cup champion, and they were spread out. It was like 90s and 2000. It was like 94, 97, and 2008, I think. I
Yeah.
could be wrong on those.
Yeah, but I mean, he had 17 seasons in the NHL, and then he just
Yeah.
kind of dropped off the face of the earth right when Jimmy Howard took over.
Right, which is like he could have taken a backup role and stuff like that, but like still we didn't hear about him.
Yeah, true.
And that was still in the era where the Red Wings.
Yeah, they were. I mean, they were still good for a while after that too. So
right, but what I'm saying is a rookie Jimmy Howard could have cracked under the pressure in the playoffs, and we could have seen Osgood again for another year or two, but we just didn't.
I agree. But hey.
So yeah, he's 10th all time in the NHL for wins by a goaltender, and as we said, he played 17 seasons in the NHL, not including his time in the minors.
Yep.
It's amazing what hockey players have the longevity. Sports just.
Yep. All right. So
yeah,
that's what we got. What? Let's see. So we're both pretty busy coming up, but we're looking to do an episode. What, in a week's time?
Yeah, hopefully.
Yep.
In a week or less.
Yep. So
we'll see you guys then.
Thanks for tuning in.
Keep you posted. Yeah, and check out the YouTube channel. JDJS Productions. We're putting up clips and playlists all the time. We're also going to put them up to our Facebook page. Let me grab that handle for a second.
It's that one just in the tunnel?
No, it's in the tunnel podcast.
Okay.
And we're uploading stuff there too. You can catch full length of the broadcast version on there. You can catch clips on there. We're putting stuff up on multiple platforms. Come to us, help us gain your attention just a little bit more. I know we live in an era hard to keep your attention. And here, let me jingle some just to make sure that, we have anything going on.
How about no? All right,
Too
thanks
late
for
now.
watching, and please check us out on our other channel.